in the very first page, by the way, the first page of a book, extremely important. It's like, if you don't read the first page, it's like going into a movie, 15 minutes into the movie and trying to figure out what's going on. So the first page of the first part of the book, he says, Jesus is the Word. Now, for some of you Greek scholars, you know what this word is. It's the logos, and it means the Word. It also where we get our word logic from, but yet it's not talking about mere logic. It really has the idea of a reason. Here is the Word. Here, Jesus is the reason. He's the reason for life. Now, most of us live all of our life without even thinking, well, we think about it all the time, subconsciously or consciously, but we never really understand what life is really all about. It's like a guy trying to grill a steak on the motor of his car. You know, it may turn out to be cooked eventually, but it's really gonna have a rough taste to it. And it's not good for you probably either. It's like we don't know what to do with what we have. We don't know what to do with this. We don't know really what to do with our family and our career and our job and how it all fits together. We don't understand that there's meaning to what is going on. And so we feel like there are no real answers to life. In fact, one of the reasons why we have a difficult time sharing our faith is that we feel like we're intruding on people's lives. We're confronting them and we're intruding. Why are we intruding? Why do they get defensive a little bit? Well, part of it is because maybe they feel like you know some answers to your religion and they don't know their own religion. That's part of it. But most of the time, people are thinking that, wow, that's impolite. It's impolite to interrupt my life and remind me that there are no answers. As the biologist and Nobel Prize winner Jacques Monroe said, he said that there are no answers to life, so you've got to find meaning in different things that you do in life. You find meaning in your work. You climb the ladder of success. You find meaning in your family. Now, if you find meaning in your family, you're going to be disappointed. If you find meaning in your career, you may end up not only disappointed but bitter when you get laid off when you're 50 years old. But we are to pour, Monroe says, to pour yourself in to those kind of things, and then you're going to find the answers and meaning to life. But it leaves us so shallow. And we're busy doing the family thing, or we're busy doing the career, or whatever we're pouring ourselves into for meaning. And we don't want to be interrupted. We say, oh my goodness, you're reminding me now that there are no answers to life. That what I'm doing has absolutely no meaning, and that's impolite. You shouldn't do that. I don't want to listen to that. And so here we find Jesus is saying, or John is saying, here we find the Word became flesh. C.S. Lewis pulled off of this, and he's talking about the whole evolutionary process and all that. And C.S. Lewis is, Chronicles of Narnia, Mere Christianity author. And he said something to the effect, and I paraphrase it, it's hard to think about falling in love with a girl when you believe that she is just a molecular mess that came together in a certain pattern that attracts you. Now think about that for just, when you start thinking about really life and what it represents and what we're being taught. And we're like an ostrich, putting our head into the sand. Oh, there we are. We're like an ostrich putting our head into the sand. We don't want to know. We don't want to really think about it. And it's just like the young man said, oh, I didn't know there was a question. Oh, yes, he does. He knows there's a question. And so when we look at this, he says the Word was like a communication. He could have used so many different words, but he says, God wants to communicate to us. And we're like in a bubble and we're trapped, and God has drilled a hole in the bubble and he's come down to this earth to show us the light and the meaning. He says in verse 3, he says, in him was the life. How do you find the meaning to life? He is the meaning to life, and he's the light. He's gonna shine the light. He's gonna shine the light in the darkness, and it's gonna come on in our head, and we're gonna see it like we've never seen it before because of Christ.